Yo people, welcome back to another review, this time the Acolyte episode 7, and where do we start? This episode completely eliminated episode 3, you have no need to watch episode 3, we all wasted our time, so congratulations. Now, I know they're going to spin the narrative and they're going to pass it off as, oh, but the first one was unreliable narrator. No one cares. We want to see the story and for what it is. You've made us wait long enough and it was for no reason because it was shit. They basically decide to make 2 episodes of the same thing and episode 3 was the worst of the entire season and they decide to multiply it. Instead of getting an episode for more development for characters like Sol, for Kamir, for Jeki who actually deserve it, nope. Let's do 2 episodes of that very same thing that isn't even good, and we'll use the same footage, get some different angles, and pass it off as a completely new episode. It's beyond a joke, and again, where has this $180 million budget gone? Dune 2, which is probably going to pick up all the special effects awards, only cost $10 million more, and the difference is insane. So I believe that this show was a tax write-off. It has to be. They might as well have just donated the money to charity. More kids would have benefited from the $100 million donation than the amount of kids that actually watched this shit. I tried to give the show time to prove itself, to prove something, to do something. I didn't want to cook the show without getting a proper vision, see what they were trying to do. They basically pinned all their hopes on this flashback. Everything was set up so that this flashback would define the success or failure of this show, regardless of all the extra stuff, the canon breaking, all of that stuff. They put all their hopes on this, and in the end, it ended up being one of the biggest failures at Disney. Even in the present day for the story, not a lot has actually happened because they've spent 2 out of 7 episodes on the same flashback. They've broken canon multiple times now, they've given us boring or uninteresting characters, cringe fake activism and lecturing. This show is a disgrace to TV, let alone Star Wars. Even if the next episode is good, it's nowhere near enough to eliminate all the sins and all the garbage that we've witnessed in the 7 previous episodes. I'd say episode 5 is the best one so far and it's mainly fighting. There's nothing to do with stories, the villain carries that whole episode as well. So yeah, that says everything you need to know about the storytelling for this show. Sol and Kamir are the only good things at the moment, and I wanna like Osha, but she hasn't had her time to shine, so I hope she gets to do something that isn't cringe and boring and useless in the final episode. The other 2 by far the only good thing about this show. Let's move on to Trinity from Matrix. She got forced to be this strong, empowering female garbage role that always gets forced in modern media. Remember, she dies in the first 5 minutes of this whole show, by the way, but in the flashback, she's amazing. Now, before you cry baby say, oh, but you must be sexist, you don't like her. Jeki is an example of a likable female character, but she barely got any airtime because they spent 2 episodes doing the same episode. As for Trinity, I think we finally found a death worse than Luke Skywalker's in Star Wars, and it's a woman on women crime. Trinity basically stopped the witches from possessing the Wookiee, and because she stopped them, that disconnected all of them and they all dropped dead. I didn't even care for any of those characters, yet I still think that they fucked over all those witches with absolute pathetic deaths. Next character, May, absolute garbage. Every episode that goes by, she keeps increasing as to why she is the worst character of this show by far. Her as a kid, they wrote her to be stupid. Oh, look at me, I'm going to set your book on fire. Don't leave Osha. The fire happens. Oh no, who would have expected this? Just shut your mouth. They gave her the worst story as a kid. So yeah, it's unfortunate that the kid actress has to go through this, but when she grows up, she's gonna wish she wasn't involved in this. As for her in present day, a flip-flop character you can't take seriously. I want to be good, I want to be bad. I'm going to train 10 years to be a villain, and then suddenly when I'm in the woods, I want to be good again. But then when it's time to help the good people, I want to be bad again. So yeah, definitely up there for one of the worst characters of all time in Star Wars. Flip-flops are automatically put into that position. The witch mum, the one with the horns, stupid character. She overacts absolutely every scene, makes it feel like I'm at a theatre for kids. No Drizzy, no Diddy. She is probably still alive, so buckle up for the cringe manure, a supposed surprise unveiling. It's not a surprise, we know it's gonna happen, so buckle up for the so shocking finale. As for Sol, I just have to say thank you for killing the main witch. People will cry and say he ruined it because the witch said, oh, I was going to let Osha join the Jedi. Well, why didn't you just say that instead of getting all the witches to point arrows at the Jedi, and before you said some stupid line about the Jedi ending themselves? Also, if that was the case, why are you turning into black smoke? It looked like you were going to do black magic and try and possess someone. So Sol literally acted out of instinct. He was trying to protect his Padawan, or his fellow colleague Padawan, so you can't really blame him for doing that. He doesn't know what he's up against and he just reacted out of instinct. Also, I found it hilarious that Sol decided to let the platform that had May drop just so that he could focus his entire force powers on saving Osha. The writers tried to make him look like a fucked up character, but he literally killed a witch that possessed a Padawan previously and chose a kid that wanted to be a Jedi, didn't set the whole thing on fire, and was actually trying to do something for themselves. The last point of stupidity, that Jedi that suicided, what did he actually do to make himself depressed, to not speak for 10 years, to be in meditation for 10 years? He didn't listen to his master's instructions one time, and that makes him depressed. That means Anakin should have gone through PTSD, ADHD, all the mental health. The amount of rules he broke, he should have just been on suicide watch, but no. This guy does it one time and he feels like he's the shittest Jedi to have ever lived. It makes him depressed. The writing behind that, one of the worst pieces of writing I've ever seen for a character. Again, he literally did no wrong. He's a Padawan as well, so he's allowed to make mistakes. But nope, not good enough. But yeah, how this show got approved is beyond me. If Dave Filoni was in charge at the time and he approved any of this, we already heard he was influential for episode 3. That's what Leslie Headland said. But anyhow we find out that he was involved even further, then he is seriously on fraud watch. And how people think this show is anywhere near successful is an absolute joke. The media is still lying to everyone. They're saying, oh, the whole thing got review bombed, it's all hate speech. We already know it flopped. The only people that would even buy into those lies are old people on Facebook or casual fans. Does anyone here actually care for the finale? Personally, I do, because I want to see how shit it ends. But also, I want to just make sure they give Khmer a good ending, which they probably won't. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. Sub to the channel if you haven't already. If you're new around here as well, massively appreciate all the support. Thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day.